It is number 11 of the volumes of the Middlegame strategy series of the popular and famous ones you've done so far. And this time it is all about the King's Indian structures. Now, the King's Indian defense is like a super historical opening, but King's Indian structures are fairly common. How come you have chosen this kind of structures for this course?
Well, this whole series is basically aimed at the improving level of a club player. And one of the openings that club players are actually facing a lot, I would not say the most, but okay, a lot, is the King's Indian.
Mhm.
And this is always somehow tricky stuff because, especially actually with the computers, King's Indians are becoming even more difficult to handle. Why? Because engines are per definition giving white bigger advantage than white in a human game has. So it is very common that engine will, I don't know, will give you maybe 0.9 or even +1. But in a human game, this is actually an unclear game. And this is what makes it sometimes difficult for a people if they wish to prepare with computer engines only. And this is something that I tried to address in this product. So I had to decide which King's Indian structures would I like to address. And I decided to stay at the structures where white has a full center. So
Mhm.
I stayed away from G3 variations.
Okay.
Because G3 variations are a little bit different, or very often a little bit different than the other King's Indian structures. So I picked up other structures apart from G3 lines. So let's say these structures where white has a when white is playing for a full center and where we are having decisions taken in the center when it comes to pawn center and dynamics.
Excellent. We will take a look at this right now. And here we are. There's the King Indian structures. And you at home, of course, know here is what you have to click on. It opens a new tab. And there we go to the King's Indian section. Now, of course, all of the videos are and all of the variations are discussed by you in detail, in depth. 57 minutes is one of the videos for you. The whole course is almost 6 hours if you are fit enough to give the right idea about this. So here we have a position. It is black to move. What can you talk about or can you tell about us at this position? So white obviously took on e6 right now. And what options does black have?
Uh, well, if my memory serves me right, this should be game Pragananda report,
Okay.
uh, which was which Pragananda had played actually fantastic until the moment that he reached the winning position. And
Unfortunate.
yeah, and then he spoiled it. First of all, due to actually bad time management,
Mm.
he came in unnecessary time trouble and spoiled position that he could have won on a well several ways. And well, due to time pressure, he somehow messed it up.
Okay.
Uh, Rapport took fe6 in this game. This is what basically happened.
Uh-huh. And this
And
is this is of course almost the number one choice to make here,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yes,
That
he
is
took. And
almost clear.
we have highly unusual pawn structure.
Hmm.
And Pragananda did not go for castle kingside, even though okay, castle kingside of course is a candidate move. Pragananda decided to play for actually kingside attack
Okay.
by pushing his h pawn.
Oh,
This is what he did in the game.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
And
So castle, and this is actually interesting, but because now when I think of this, I didn't actually think of this so much during the recording of this product. But indeed, a lot of club players will make maybe move castles as automatic move.
mhm.
And actually, it is not wrong. I mean, it can be played. and then she would probably still give you some advantage. But what Pragnanda did in this game was this idea to go for h4, h5 attack was actually much better, and very soon he got the winning position. He got the winning attack that, due to bad time management, he did not manage to, let's say, bring it home. So
What? Yeah.
he did not castle. So king stayed on e1, and then king went to castle queenside.
I want to have one or two more move ideas in this position against Fritz right now, because of course, as you said, Prague was playing h4. Now the computer castled, and this is what always happens. This is part of the exercise. There will always be some different other moves. Some are quite good, others are not that excellent, and you always have to find a good decision. So what would be maybe a good idea to advance for black here?
Well, I didn't actually think about
That's the
this
whole
position
point.
at all. Look, I have to do something with my pawns.
Mhm.
I would not like to take a risk to take on c3. This is for me no go.
Okay.
Even though engines, sometimes computers, they don't care about giving that bishop, I will not do that. I will I will consider some move like, let's say, e5. I will consider some move like e5
Uh-huh.
to try to stabilize my situation in the center, because also white has more space. So to try to stabilize my situation in the center, this would be option. Second option is, of course, a move like queen h4 to try to annoy black,
Ah.
to ask black as to, okay, you castle kingside, let me annoy this knight and see a little bit as to what you are doing.
Uh-huh.
Uh, in the game, because Prague did not castle kingside, Rapport, I think, played some move like queen a5 or something like this. This is what happened in the game, which here I
Oh, okay.
which here I don't think makes too much sense.
So now we can choose between e5 and queen h4. What do you take?
Yes, uh, good question. Maybe e5 I would rather play.
Let's go for this. I want to see the click and check. And it says it's okay. It's okay.
Oh, good. Excellent. I passed.
Oh, and there's another one passing.
F5. Okay.
Yeah, but
Now it is
that's
getting, yeah.
we could go on forever, but
Yeah.
that's of course up to you at home to do so. I'm sorry that I put you right here on the spot with your moves and ideas, but that's of course a little part of this as well. Now let us go and check out one game, and you of course may choose which one we can take a little look at. We have a couple of options here. Prague against Rapport is probably the one you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Then we have Narayanan against Gukesh, or for example, yourself against Radabov, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, this was actually a good game which I played versus.
This one here with the
Yeah,
central squares. Let's go for it.
yeah,
Let's check
yeah,
this
because
out.
it was, Java was quite young, and in his young years, he was actually King's Indian was his main repertoire. This is something which will change later on as he
Okay.
developed the player. But at that time, it was his main repertoire. And I did not want to go with him into theoretical discussion. I mean, theoretical in a kind of direct discussion. So I decided to go for a so-called Smysl variation.
Okay, let's go for that. And you tell me which move the Smyslov variation is. Is it that already? No.
Castles? No, castles and bishop g5.
Aha.
Okay, you're trying to avoid, let's say, the direct King's Indian opening discussion, and this is what I wanted to do.
Mhm.
Of course, players who are playing somebody who is both King's Indian and a Grunfeld player need to know that here Black is having some very funny sacrifice like d5. which may look like a ridiculous move, d5,
B5.
which look deep,
Sorry.
d7, d5,
Ah.
which looks like a pawn blunder. But okay, people who are playing Grunfeld Indian as a black, they probably know that here after bishop takes f6, bishop f6, white can grab a pawn, can decide whether to grab with a pawn or with a knight. And
Hmm.
if grabbing with a knight, you go away with a bishop, and then you're going to hit this knight. And actually, you have, and later you would also push move like c5, working on this bishop. White is a little bit behind the
Oh.
development, and black is having, let's say, full compensation. And
Okay.
if you take cd5 instead, black usually plays move c6.
Oh.
And yes, and now again, if you decide to stick to this pawn, well, there is going to be black is having advantage in development. So if you take dc6, knight c6, there is a full compensation.
Yeah, this
So
one.
what white players usually do on c6, they play move e4. They give this pawn back,
Hmm.
and then when you take, they play move like e5 and hope to get advantage in this type of position. Uh, but okay, for black to play this, black needs to be, let's say, also Grunfeld player, not only King's Indian player.
Mm.
So my game continued, okay, h6, which is more like King's Indian reaction.
Hmm.
Okay, bishop moves, d6, e3, c5, d5. Now position is looking almost like Benoni, but okay, it is not exactly Benoni because these transactions with e6, ed5, cd5 did not happen.
Hmm.
So Rajabov is going for my bishop, bishop g3, knight h5, bishop d3, f5.
Oops.
Yeah, knight d2. And here he decides to grab this bishop, pawn takes. And here he actually plays move e5. And this is now a rather interesting, and it comes to learning example, because if white plays it well, there is a chance that this bishop on g7 will be one big pawn. Uh, if black never manages to conveniently push move like e4, this bishop is not going to be, this powerful dragon that is shooting from g7, but a
Ah.
rather passive piece. And this is what actually I managed in the game.
So you
I
played
managed
e4
in the game.
yourself?
I think I first played e4 or g4, something like this.
Let's
Uh,
see.
what did I do first?
You
I played
played
g4.
g4 first, yeah.
G4. Yeah, G4 first. Okay, the idea is if you grab this pawn that my bishop is open and I
Yep.
will get tremendous square on E4.
That is very nice
So
indeed.
he didn't want to do this. He pushed E4 himself. But okay, he opens the bishop, but now the problem is pawn on E4 is very shaky. You cannot defend it in a good way.
Hmm.
And you see now, okay, takes. So now his bishop is open, but okay, bishop cannot, win the game on its own. And now suddenly black king is actually unsafe because my bishop on c2 is also open. And if I manage to build a battery with my queen, we are talking about checkmate threats.
This is the thing I've noticed in the other courses that you have in your whole strategy series, that the strategies, and this is really, of course, the wording for that, it changes after almost every move, which is fascinating, and it is part of chess. Of course, you have a certain idea, you have a strategy, then something happens from the opponent, and out of a sudden you go like, all right, in this case, the king is open out of a sudden, and now you have some other options and more plenty of things to do there. I love that.
A lot of time when a strategy changes is connected to the fact that the pawn structure is changing,
Hmm.
which is here the case. And that's why the strategy is also changing. And my experience tells me that the more pawn structures you know, the quicker you can actually grasp the right plan
Hmm.
in a, let's say, new pawn structure. and this is going to benefit you in a practical play.
That's interesting.
So my opinion is that usually, let's say, pawn structure changes benefit a stronger player, because stronger player is more likely to adjust to those kind of changes in a better way.
That makes sense.
And okay, here I played knight g3. Okay,
Takes.
takes, because now, okay, again, well, f5 square is now weak, for a black. So black did manage to have this excellent bishop, but white got a lot of things in return. And okay, this game later on went a long way into ending. That I think that my execution was actually good in defending. I like this game because I had advantage from the very start, and I never let it go. Rajaba was at that time young. He was not as strong as he later will become, but he was 2600 plus grandmaster. So he was already playing top tournaments.
Oh yeah.
I think that he did beat Kasparov around that time with the black in that French. So he was already a very strong player, and I like this game. So here he decided to sacrifice a pawn.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
In order to hope with a blockade on the dark squares to save a draw.
But well, let me quickly interrupt you, because you have already really touched the very essentials of this middle game. And for the rest of the game, of course, you at home know what to do, right? The Volume 11 is available now for your download. The chess-based training is all yours. And now we've also been more than 15 minutes in, so I would just stop it for now, leave it as a cliffhanger.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Ivan, thank you so much for the time you took for this. And yeah, I'm looking forward to everything you have done so far. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot to you too. And if everything is good, usually I pass by ChessBase in the summer when weather is nice in Hamburg. So following summer, you might expect me coming over, following on this or exploring different kind of middle games.
Looking forward to that, 100%. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.